Rabbi Nahunia ben Hakana said,
The mother went to them and said, "My children, why do you do this? Why do you make your father hate both you and me?" She spoke to them in this manner until they had remorse, and they did the will of their father. When the king saw this, he loved them as much as he did in the beginning, and he also loved them as the mother. And God knew. And this is also the meaning of the verse. In the midst of years, make it known.
as you ascribe to. Asks the first child, will anything ever be illuminated? Asks the second child. Why illuminate anything? Asks the third child. And the fourth, he doesn't know how that asks. Is illuminated.
Anything can be a blessing. Anything can be a curse.
These 10 sayings parallel the 10 Seferot and are their reflection of the physical world. The 10 sayings are... Let there be light.
Chokmah, wisdom.
Be light. Let there 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 be light.
Let there be freedom.
Bina, understanding. Let the waters
Let there be
gather.
ferment.
Chesed, understanding. Gather. Love, strength. Strength. Luminaries and elements. Let the waters swarm with living creatures. With living creatures. With living creatures.
Next song.
Let the earth bring forth living creatures. Let the earth living creatures. Let the earth spread. Let us make a man. Yes, odd foundation. Let us make a man. Yes, odd foundation. I have given you every herb. Malkut kingship. I have given you a There's a question as to which is the 10th saying.
There's a question as to which is the 10th saying.
Some say it is implied in the first verse. In the beginning, God created the heaven and earth. Is implied in the first verse. In the beginning, God created. This is the same parallels Kabbalah, which is also implied. Others say that the 10th verse is it is not trying to be alone. It corresponds to Malkut kingship, which is not being understood to be the position of dispute, since the beginning is in
and therefore underground and all the things you all mentioned above.
According to some opinions, the 10 parallels, the 10 sayings, parallel the 10 Sefer in their usual order. Others say that the 3 sayings involve mentality as well the Torah is the of truth, emet. This is because it emanates from the first 3 letters. The first three letters emet. Yud the confluence of the 3 letters three hot splendor and Yud diagram of the confluence of the 3 letters three hot splendor and Yesod into the diagram of 2 paths. Actually, you cannot create Malkut kingship, the lowest Sefer. That's the creation. Malkut kingship, the lowest Sefer. The 10 parallel the 10 the 10 also parallels Man's body has 613 parts. Man's body has 48 limbs and 360 arms. 48 and 360 613 commandments, 248 imperatives, and 365 prohibitions. 248 imperatives, 248 This indicates that besides consisting of 10 Sephirot, Seraphim is a personification containing elements that parallel all parts of the human body. As such, Seraphim is the macrocosmic man.
Says a day, each day of the blessed Holy
This was so that all parts of man's body should be worthy of life in the world to come, which is likened to the sea. The extent that we can express it, the structure was completed in Mount Ra. Regarding the structure, it is written, for in the form of God he made the man. Is it he made the man? The numerical value of Avraham is 248, the number of parts in man's body. What is the meaning of? The filling is God's blessing. The sea and the south he shall inherit it, Yirashaha. It would have been sufficient if the verse said, inherit, Rash, the sea and the south. But this comes to teach us that God must also be Rabbah. The word Yirasha thus contains the letter Rash, Yah, meaning inherit God. What does this resemble? A king had 2 treasuries and he hid one away. After many days he said to his son, take what is in these 2 treasuries. The son replied, perhaps you were not giving me all that you had hidden away. The king said, take everything. It is thus written, the sea and the south he shall inherit it, inherit God, Rush. Everything will be given to you if you can only keep my ways. Rabbi Bon said, what is the meaning of the verse, I was sound from eternity, Me'olam, from a head before the earth? What is the meaning of from eternity, Me'olam? This means that it must be concealed, Elam, from the world. It is thus written, he has also placed the world, Me'olam, in their hearts, that they should not find out the work that God has done from the beginning to the end. Do not read Ha'olam, the world, but Elam, concealment. The Torah said I was first so that I might be the head of the world. It is thus written, I was set up from eternity from a head. You may think that before the earth was before it. It is therefore written before the earth. It is thus written, in the beginning created God the heaven and the earth. What is the meaning of created? He created everything that was needed for all things. And then God, only after that is it written, the heaven and the earth. What is the meaning of the verse? Also one opposite the other was made by God. He created desolation, and placed it in peace, and he created chaos, and placed it in order. Desolation is in peace, as it is written. He makes peace in his high places. This teaches us that Michael, the prince to God's right, is water and hail, while Gabriel, the prince to God's left, is fire. The 2 are reconciled by the Prince of Peace. This is the meaning of the verse, he makes peace in his high places. How do we know that chaos isn't evil? It is written, he makes peace and creates evil. How does this come out? Evil is from chaos, while peace is from desolation. He thus created chaos and placed it in evil, as it is written, he makes peace and creates evil. He created desolation and placed it in peace, as it is written, he makes peace in his high places. Rabbi Bon also said and expounded. What is the meaning of the verse, he forms light and creates darkness? Light has substance, therefore the term formation is used with regard to it. Darkness has no substance. And therefore, with regard to it, the term creation is used. It is similarly written. He forms mountains and creates the wind. Another explanation is this. Light was actually brought into existence as it is written. And God said, let there be light. Something cannot be brought into existence unless it is made. The term formation is therefore used. In the case of darkness, however, there was no making, only separation and setting aside. It is for this reason that the term created, bara, is used. It has the same sense as in the expression that person became by Allah. Why is the letter bet enclosed on all sides and open in the front? This teaches us that it is the house, bayit, of the world. God is the place of the world, and the world is not his place. It is thus written, with wisdom the house is built, with understanding it is established, and with knowledge are its chambers filled. What does bed resemble? It is like a man formed by God with wisdom. He is closed on all sides but open in front. The olive, however, is open from behind. This teaches us that the tale of precious crown, and he said, "This is fitting for my son's head." And I said to him, "Are you then certain that your son will be worthy of this crown?" He replied, "Be still. This is what arises and falls. It is thus written, he thinks thoughts that none should be cast away." Rabbi Elmarai sat and expounded. Why is the letter Aleph in the beginning? Because it was before everything, even the Torah. Why does Bet follow it? Because it was first. Why does it have a tail? To point to the place from which it came. Some say the air of the world is sustained. Why is Gimel third? It has 3 parts teaching us that it bestows kindness. But did Rabbi Akiva not say that Gimel has 3 parts because it bestows, grows, and sustains? It is thus written, the lad grew and was bestowed. He said, he says the same as I do. He grew and bestowed kindness to his neighbors and to those entrusted to him. And why is there a tail at the bottom of the Gimel? He said the Gimel has a head on top and is like a pipe. Just like a pipe, the Gimel draws from its head and disperses through its tail. This is the Gimel. Rabbi Yochanan said, the angels were created on the 2nd day, and is therefore written, he rafters his upper chambers with water, and makes the clouds his chariot, who walks on the wings of the wind. It is then written, he makes the winds his angels, his ministers from flaming fire. Rabbi Hanina said, the angels were created on the 5th day, as it is written, and flying things shall fly upon the firmament of heaven. Regarding the angels, it is written, with 2 wings did they fly. Rabbi Lavatas ben Tarfon said, all agree, even Rabbi Yochanan, that the water already existed on the 1st day, but it was on the 2nd day that the rafterings and the chambers were water. At that time, we also agreed that the one who makes the clouds his chariots, and the one who walks on the wings of the wind. But his messengers were not created until the 5th day. All agree that none were created on the 1st day. It should therefore not be said that Michael drew out the heaven and the south, and Gabriel drew it out the north, while God arranged things in the middle. It is thus written, I am God, I make all, I stretch out the heavens below, and the earth is spread out before me. Even though you read the verse from me, I am it can also be read immediately is with me. I am the one who planted this tree in order that all the world should delight in it, and in it I spread all. I called it all because all depend on it, all emanate from it, and all need it. To it they look, for it they wait, and from it the souls fly in joy. Alone was I when I made it. Let no angel rise above it and say, I was before you. I was also alone when I spread out my earth, in which I had planted and rooted this tree, and made them rejoice together, and rejoiced in them. Who was with me, to whom I have revealed this mystery? Rabbi Rahmai said, from your words we could conclude that the needs of this world were created before the heavens. He answered, yes. What does this resemble? A king wanted to plant a tree in his garden. He searched the entire garden to find a spring filled with water that would nourish the tree, but could not find any. He then said, I will dig for water, and will bring forth a spring to nourish the tree. He dug and opened the well flowing with living water. He then planted the tree, and it stood, giving forth fruit. It was successfully rooted, since it was always watered from the well. Rabbi Yanai said the earth was created first, as it is written, on the day that God made earth and heaven. They said to him, it is not written, in the beginning God created the heaven and the earth. Is it not written? He replied, what is this like? A king brought a beautiful object, but since it was not complete, he did not give it a name. He said, I will complete it, I will repair its pedestal and attachment, and then I will give it a name. It is thus written, from eternity you filled the earth, and the heavens are the work of your hands. It is furthermore written, he covered himself with light like a garment. He spread out the heaven like a curtain. He rafters his upper chambers with water. It is then written, he makes the winds his angels, his What is the letter Vav? He said there is another man Lord. They said to him, what is Vav? He said the world was sealed with 6 directions. He said, is not Vav a single letter? He replied, it is written. He wraps himself in a light with a garment. He spreads out the heavens like a curtain. Rabbi Al-Barai asked, where is the Garden of Eden? He replied, it is on earth. Rabbi Ishmael expounded to Rabbi Akiba, what is the meaning of the verse, in the beginning God created the heaven and the earth? Why is the word adjective in places? The word and is not translated preposition that connects a transitive verb to its predicate noun, or absent. We would think that heaven and earth were gods, for we have read the verse, in the beginning God the heaven and the earth created. Take all 3 nouns as subjects in the sentence. He replied, by the divine service you may have reached out for the true meaning, but you have not sought it out, and therefore you speak in this manner. But in the case of heaven, the word and comes to the sun, the stars, and constellations, or in the case of earth, it comes to add trees, plants, and the Garden of Eden. They said to him, it is written, we threw the beauty of Israel from heaven to the earth. From here we see that unfounded. He replied, if you have read, you did not review, and if you review, what does this resemble? King had an evil crown on his head, and an evil cloak on his shoulders. When he heard evil tidings, he cast the crown from his head, and the cloak from his shoulders. They asked him, why is the letter Chet on it, and why is its vowel going to speech? He said,